Any that join us, we'd love to have you. Any that would like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, we'd love to have you as a subscriber. It is Free Your Mind time. Most High, Mother and Father of life, we are thankful and grateful for the joy and the peace and strength that we have experienced on this day. Thankful and grateful for those that are here right now. Thankful and grateful for those that are a part of this great fellowship near and far. As we come together tonight to free our mind, open up our understanding that we might receive during this time where there's so much division, so much hatred, so much resentment. Help us to be able to be a beacon of unity and strength. Help us to be a light at this time. Help us to be able to strengthen each other and all those we come in contact with. If any log in on tonight, it is our earnest expectation that all things are well when they log in and that they receive right now as we have assembled in here. If any on the way here, let them make it here safely. And those that may be viewing from the house, we're thankful and grateful for them joining us. We are ready and willing and able to do a great work as we go forth in this ordained purpose as part of the next wave. Let nothing be done for vainglory as we speak with power and boldness in here and everywhere that we go. Let us continue to make an impact. Let us continue to cause change, and let us continue to help others free their mind and realize righteousness and holiness has nothing to do with walking around just plainly being religious. Ashe. Amen. Thankful on this evening. Is anyone at this time that is here, would you like to testify? This is your time to do it. Well, is anyone logged in on this evening? Not yet. Good. We're going to go on without them. When they log in, may they just log in and join in. If there are no testimonies, we are thankful. We're thankful. Okay, let's have it. Hey. Hey. Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Hi. Mm. Mm. Aye, aye. Amen. All right. Right. I, I I was listening and I was hearing you talk about the celebration of life, and we know that there's one thing that has to always be implemented in those times, and that is the consciousness of the hereafter and Jesus, and um, it has to be re-emphasized. And what happens is when you get in that setting and you call it a celebration of life, you are lying when you get off of the point of celebration of that person's life. Many of us in churches and in religion take that opportunity to try to indoctrinate people, try to take advantage of the emotional state of the people at that time. Um, Over the years, we have been taught there's nothing wrong with that, but it simply is something wrong with that. I think in the days to come, some kanji sha, some of the things that I'm going to say is going to make people understand that what you have is tainted, and purity override perversion. Shahaki. Hey, anybody logged in? Bless you, bless you, bless you all. Glad to have you. May others log in and key and receive. Uh, where are we tonight? Where are we? Where are we? Numbers, the fourth chapter. We are in Numbers, and understand that in the Bible here, the people that were set apart, uh, known as Israel, which for the sake of the Bible and the story being told in the Bible, what is very interesting is this. They were set apart to be a people for God in the Bible, but they mingled with everybody. They crossed seed with others. They crossed gods with others. Huh? Even after the time of the incident on the mount where it was said, have no other gods, huh, before me. But as they entered into different lands, we're going to find that not only did they have more than one God, they picked up extra gods as they went into other lands and other territories, which is very similar to what is in this country. You know, it's very interesting that we have what they call freedom of religion, which is really a hypocritical statement, because you can't say you have freedom of it and then you renounce and pounce and reject and come against those that have a different religion other than yours. Religion is not designed to dominate, even though it's used for that purpose. So I want people to understand that the dynamic of this story comes from, it comes from the ancient tales and teachings of the tribal life and the culture of tribal existence and the migration and moving and interaction in between the different tribes that have come in contact with each other, that found a common ground by Most High to communicate, to coexist, until other things came and infiltrated the land. The biggest tragedy that ever took place was the desecration, infiltration, colonization, destruction, demoralizing, and genocide of the Garden of Eden, which we call Africa, but it is originally the Garden of Eden. Africa is not even the original name of the land. Absolutely not. Not. So as we go forth, let's go into Numbers 4 and what the liars say tonight. Uh-huh. in the tabernacle, and all these were men. I want you to notice how in this story and dynamic is men, but the lazy behind men got the women doing all the work. I want you to notice that. Women have built up church after church after church. And then man come in and control them and use them like a bunch of zombies and pieces of property. I have no respect for most churches and ministries because they disrespect one another, they abuse one another, they mistreat one another, and a lot of the women say that God told them to act the way they act, and you a liar and the truth ain't in you. You a liar and the story is not even about you. That mindset is a male chauvinistic European concept that doesn't even have anything to do with your culture. Being humble does not mean being controlled. Being humble does not mean being orchestrated and pushed around by a barbaric entity. Has nothing to do with that. Thank you, Elder. Go ahead. About the most holy things. Go ahead. And when the camp set forth, Aaron. Uh-huh. Huh?
And upon the table
That's why
of
we use the mic.
showbread, they shall spread a cloth of blue and put thereon the dishes and the spoons and the bowls and covers to cover withal. And the continual bread shall be thereon. And they shall spread upon them a cloth of scarlet and cover the same with a covering of badger skins, and shall put in the staves thereof. And they shall take a cloth of blue and cover the candlestick of the light, and his lamps, and his tongues, and his snuff dishes, and all the oil vessels thereof, wherewith they minister unto it. And they shall put it all, the vessels thereof, within a covering of badger skins, and shall put it upon a bar. And upon the golden altar they shall spread a cloth of blue, and cover it with a covering of badger skins, and shall put the staves thereof. And they shall take all the instruments of ministry, wherewith they minister in the sanctuary, and put them in a cloth of blue, and cover them with the covering of badger skins.
Excuse me. You know good and well it ain't talking about us and church the way we have it now and denominations. They do not have this kind of meticulous care about nothing. You know good and well they don't. But the dynamic was adopted on the plantation because those that cared in the house and were workers in the house had to specifically prepare meals, prepare the house, prepare the table for meals in the same meticulous way that this is being done. They had to do it the same way. And if they did not do it up to the standard and liking of the woman of the house or the slave master, they were punished. This is the same mindset and same thinking. They adopted this from the Bible and they carried it over to bondage. Other cultures have done the same thing. It's not just limited to just slavery. It also gave the mindset of how to inflict certain rules, regulations, and punishments to prisoners of war, indentured servants, hired servants, slaves, bondmen and bondwomen. This was adopted from this. Why? Because when this came forward, it had to have the same kind of dynamic in it, because at that time it was used as a tool of control, power, and influence, and the customs and the procedures that were adopted out of it are used the same way. The funny thing about it, in the church, they'll have some things organized and described, and they put it in bylaws and they never use it. They never use it. But in its entirety, look how detailed this is. Look how structured it is. The closest thing you're going to come to this is not in Christianity. It's in Christianity's twin, Catholicism. Bless you. Bless you. Go ahead.
And shall put them on a bar, and they shall take away the ashes from the altar, and spread a purple cloth thereon. And they shall put upon it all the vessels thereof, wherewith they minister about it, even the censers, the flesh hooks, and the shovels, and the basins, all the vessels of the altar. And they shall spread upon it a covering of badger skins, and put to the staves of it. And when Aaron and his sons have made an end of covering the sanctuary and all the vessels of the sanctuary, as the camp is to set forward, after that the sons of Kohath shall come to bear it, but they shall not touch any holy thing, lest they die.
I want you all to hear that. They can't touch a holy thing lest they die. Now, were they not considered holy people?
Yes.
Well, if you're a holy person, what in Jimmy the Cricket causes you to die if you touch a holy thing, if you're supposed to be? Did not I say that ritual of religion don't make you holy? Because they're doing the ritual, but if you look at what it's saying you're being called holy, but you ain't. Am I right? Minister Rice, you know what size you wear, right? Somebody twice your size can't fit your clothes. So when they grab them, you tell them, no, sister, you can't fit that. Am I right? If she don't listen to you, you're going to need new clothes. Because she's going to bust out on the funk trying to squeeze into your clothes. This is saying, if you listen to it, you're being called holy. Yes, on the surface. But you ain't holy, because if you touch the holy things, you're going to die. That's not what it says. That's what it says, right? In Catholicism, a normal young fella is forbidden to touch the things such as the censers, the cruets, is not allowed to touch the things that are assigned to be touched and handled by the altar boys. You know, little boys they molest? The altar boys. These things, if you listen to these things, different religions, different denominations, different secret societies and clubs take parts of this and put it into practice. I see some of the things in the Masons in this. I see some of the things that were adopted for the sake of fraternal order in this. I actually see some of the things that the Klan used to initiate their members. It ain't the same stuff, but it's the same discipline, the same dynamic. See, they have a habit of telling you, no, you're wrong, because this is how we do it. But where did you get it from? I'm not mad at you, and I'm not arguing and debating you, but where did you get it from? Right in here, in this story, in this Bible. It is the greatest story ever told, because it's put together to tell a story to get a hold on many people. And it's still working today. It's not that I'm criticizing, I'm just telling the truth about it. You're not going to control my mind because I value my behind. Let's go.
These things are the burden of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation.
The burden of who?
The sons of Kohath.
Now tell me that's not what I just described to you about the altar boys. Only they could handle this stuff, right? And there was some stuff they were told don't touch. The same is with the altar boys. There are things that they can touch when they're preparing for the mass, but there are some things, though it be in their reach, those altar boys are instructed not to touch them. Thank you, Elder. Yes, I'm teaching. So it's the same thing. And they'll say, well, it's not actually. It's where you got it from. No, you don't understand that. Go ahead.
And to the office
What'd you
of
say?
Eleazar,
That's what I said. Go ahead.
and to the office of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, pertaineth the oil for the light, and the sweet incense, and the daily meat offering, and the anointing oil.
Notice, everybody's getting assignment. You can't cross assign, right? And he gave some. Let's go.
And the oversight of all the tabernacle and all that therein is, in the sanctuary and in the vessels thereof. And the Lord spake unto And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, Cut ye not off the tribe of the families of the Kohathites from among the Levites, but thus do unto them, that they may live and not die. When they approach unto the most holy things, Aaron and his sons shall go in and appoint them every one to his service and to his burden. But they shall not go in to see when the holy things are covered, lest they die.
Stop right there. Listen to that. These things were adopted. The instilling of fear. And it's false fear because some of the vessels in the pulpit ain't nothing to fear. They give people false fear, but ain't nothing powerful about them. Ain't nothing dominant about them. Some of them ain't got enough power to even stay healthy. Some of them, when something happens, they just waste away. They don't fight back. They don't try to take care of themselves. God gonna do it. No, that don't even match what's in the Bible. Then you're gonna say God helps them who help themselves, but you're gonna lay there and waste away and say God will take care of you. Notice how it shows up. When you hear this, you'll catch on to different things that pertain to stuff you either been around, heard, or seen in different groups, different denominations, different ministries, different churches. You'll see it. They don't like for somebody to point these things out. They immediately ostracize that person and say that person is the devil or going against God. No, I'm in your Bible. I'm in the Bible that we have, the King James Version. I'm just pointing out where things come from because nobody seemed to want to have some intelligence to not be a zombie instead of a person. They need to be people, need to have a free mind, need to be able to walk and go forth. You don't have free will when you trapped in a story that don't even 100% pertain to you. And that's for everybody that use it. Everybody. I'm not against anything you're doing. Don't get mad at me because I don't let it control me. Many are people that are more skilled and more versed than those that are practicing the religion, that have changed religions, are more versed and more skilled than those that are empowering people, captivating people, enslaving people, and entrapping people every Sunday. You don't believe me? Go on YouTube and type in Matt and hear him get down. They are assigning things, and this is how the church follows the same dynamic. They assign people. But do you notice they assign them and give them titles, but don't give them no duties? And when they do, it don't match. It don't fit. Like they say, apostles set up church. That's a lie. That's not what an apostle is. That's not what an apostle is. Absolutely not. So let's look at how they put fear in the people. Oh my, if they come in, oh my. Listen to that. If they come in while this going on, they're gonna die. Ain't that what it say? Now, who's supposed to believe that if the first thing was said about somebody dying, they didn't die? When they did what they wasn't supposed to do. Civil disobedience don't have to be taught. It can be learned. Go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
To me, as I'm reading, it seems like that they picked out. It's a story, I know, but it seems like they picked out a people from the Levites.
No, it don't seem like they did.
Okay, but instead of, now you part of Levites, you just the Kohathites.
Right.
But you got to be subservient to what they're doing, and then if you don't do, because you are the sons of. But
Okay.
if you don't do it, it's like you die. Now none of them, I guess that's the duty of it. It just seemed like it's like they got picked out.
That don't sound familiar?
Of course, but
okay.
That's what I'm saying. It got
All
picked
right.
out to be the subservient folk.
Always folk being singled out to be elite that ain't nothing but low-level cowards. There's nothing elite about them. Some of them know that Bible. Look, some of them know that Bible the way they shouldn't even have to even open it and look in it. But walking in it and knowing the truth is far from them. They have to use their own intellect and intelligence to try to prove stuff. And like I said, I ain't against you. But you ain't gonna lie to me. You ain't gonna lie to me. You're not gonna throw piss in my face and call it lemonade. You're not gonna lie to me. And I'm not gonna argue and debate with you. I'm gonna hear you out. But then do I get a turn to talk? We have to tell people the truth of where this stuff come from, why it influence and control people. Half of it is a story never ever happened. And they get mad when I say that. Well, if it really did happen, it would have a more lasting effect than you changing the narrative, changing the dynamic, changing the tactic, changing the motives, changing the inner workings of it for it to fit and try to defend it and try to make people believe it's true. They still fighting trying to defend Noah's Ark. Well, you don't have to defend it. It's got several stories before it that shows you where you got it from. Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take also the sum of the sons of Gershon throughout the houses of their fathers by their families, from 30 years old and upward until 50 years old, shalt thou number them. All that enter in to perform the service, to do the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. This is the service of the families of the Gershonites, to serve and for burdens. And they shall bear the
Read that part again.
To serve and for burdens.
To serve and for burdens. Sound familiar?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And they shall bear the curtains of the tabernacle, and the tabernacle of the congregation, his covering, and the covering of the badger skin that is above upon it, and the hanging for the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the hangings of the court, and the hanging for the door of the gate of the court, which is by the tabernacle and by the altar round about, and their cords, and all the instruments of their service, and all that is made for them, so shall they serve. At the appointment of Aaron and his sons shall be all the service of the sons of the Gershonites, in all their burdens and in all their service, and ye shall appoint unto them in charge all their burdens. This is the service of the families of the sons of Gershon, in the tabernacle of the congregation, and their charge shall be under the hand of Ithamar, the son of Aaron, the priest. And for the sons of Merari,
Hold it. Ask the intelligent being known as AI who these Gershonites are. Ask who they are. Since they're bearing this burden, who are they?
Google says the Gershonites were a prominent clan of the Levites in the Bible, descended from Gershon, the firstborn of Levi. In the wilderness, they were responsible for transporting and caring for the tabernacle's fabrics, coverings, curtains, and ropes. After settling in Canaan, they were assigned 13 cities.
Now, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that description? Am I the only one that see them as being a character in a book? Let me show you the difference. I'm the only one to see them as a character in the book? Okay, let me see the difference. Let's see the difference. Ask the intelligent one, who are the Cushites? Told y'all, I'm gonna prove everything I say. They're just characters in a book. They don't even have no region. They don't have no origin other than in a book. Nothing wrong with that, huh? Who in here don't have a birth certificate? You got a birth certificate, right?
It says in the Bible, the Cushites were an ancient people descended from Cush, the eldest son of Ham and grandson of Noah. They primarily originated from the kingdom of Cush, a powerful civilization located in the Upper Nile region, modern-day Sudan, Ethiopia, and Eritrea.
See the difference?
Through the term.
See the difference? The first character, you can't trace them back to no real people. But you can trace that one back to real people. See the difference? Ain't no narrative of them being part of a modern day civilization because they're characters. Now you see where this character came from. Somebody watching just said, man. See the difference? Told you, I'm gonna prove what I'm saying. They're a character. They ain't got no origin other than in the Bible. No region other than the story in the Bible. But your character of Cush you got from a real people, us. Play with me. It's time. Free your mind. Yes. Heard you first. Who never existed. Go ahead. Characters. No. Now, when it comes to the Bible, they'll say we came from Cush, Ham, yeah. According to the Bible, they'll say that's where we came from. And they piled this stuff on so much so to no doggone body know who in the heck they truly are unless they run into somebody that an ancestral influence gave them historical traits and facts to know who they really are. I don't care, Ancestry.com, I don't care nothing about how you got the Bible, your Torah, I don't care what kind of books you have. Nobody really, colonization, invasions, torture, fighting, bickering, conflicts have caused people to overpower one another, dominate each other, to where in many ways nobody knows who the heck they really, truly are. It's very difficult in some regions for people to be authentic, but Ethiopia is authentic. They're not the only ones, but Ethiopia is authentic. The Moors are authentic. There are others that are authentic, but when it comes to regions like the Garden of Eden, nobody really knows who the heck they are. So they have to embrace and take on the historical principles and facts that were handed down and do the best they can with identifying who they really truly are. You can lie about it all you want to. I don't give a rat's butt about all your facts that you laid out. Nobody know who in the Jiminy Cricket they really are in a lot of these regions and a lot of these places. Why? Because a lot of these characters in here is the identity they took on. It's bad when you take on the identity of a people that never existed, but only exists within the confines of being a character in the Bible. Whenever you can't trace a people from a book to an authentic people that really existed, now we got a problem. See, I wasn't talking like this before because I told you I get worse by the day. And some people are contemplating being around me, but that's fine. I'm going to still keep telling the truth because that's what I'm supposed to do. People have a strange way of saying how others are supposed to be while they act how they want to act, and ain't nothing supposed to be said about it. Well, now, never mind. Your point? Yeah? No? No? We moving on? I hope this helping somebody on the live. Go ahead.
As for the sons of Merari, thou shalt number them after their families by the house of their fathers. From 30 years old and upward unto 50 years old shalt thou number them, every one that entereth into the service to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. And this is the charge of their burden, according to all their service in the tabernacle of the congregation. The boards of the tabernacle, and the bars thereof, and the pillars thereof, and sockets thereof, and the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets, and their pins, and their cords, with all their instruments, and with all their service. And by name ye shall reckon the instruments of the charge of their burden. This is the service of the families of the sons of Merari, according to all their service in the tabernacle of the congregation, under the hand of Ithamar, the son of Aaron, the priest. And Moses and Aaron and the chief of the congregation numbered the sons of the Kohathites after their families and after the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, everyone that entereth into the service for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. And those that were numbered of them by their families were 2,750. These were they that were numbered of the families of the Kohathites, all that might do service in the tabernacle of the congregation, which Moses and Aaron did number according to the commandment of the Lord by the hand of Moses. And those that were numbered of the sons of Gershon throughout their families and by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, everyone that entereth into the service for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them throughout their families by the house of their fathers, were 2,630. These are they that were numbered of the families of Gershon. Of all that might do service in the tabernacle of the congregation, whom Moses and Aaron did number according to the commandment of the Lord. And those that were numbered of the families of Merari, throughout their families by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, every one that entereth into the service for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. Even those that were numbered of them after their families were 3,200. These be those that were numbered of the families of the sons of Merari, whom Moses and Aaron numbered according to the word of the Lord by the hand of Moses. All those that were numbered of the Levites, whom Moses and Aaron and the chief of Israel numbered after their families and after the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, everyone that came to do the service of the ministry and the service of the burden in the tabernacle of the congregation.
Hold it right there. These meticulous records that are in this story, that they copied some of it from other writings, absolutely did, no doubt about it. This is the same thing they did on plantation. These are the kind of records they kept with the families. Some of the families that were separated and divided, they even had the nerve to record when they sold them away. They had the nerve to record separating people. These are the same kind of records that were kept when people were put into captivity during time of conflict and time of battle. These are the same kind of records that the families kept. The same dynamic bleed over into the church. There are some churches, not all. I was fortunate to encounter and be in two of them that have records that go way back with people that were part of that church years and years and years ago, and their children and the year that they came. And these kind of records are not kept the way they were kept before, because the password is lazy, or it has become less and less important, less and less of significance. Why? Because people change churches like folk change draws. People change denominations like folk change draws. People change religions freely like folk change their draws. It became less and less honorable and less important. The only system that held true to hold to it wholeheartedly strong, keeping the records in the proper manner, was the plantation. Facts. In prison camps. It's a shame that suffering has such a prominent significance to give a blueprint for order and control in organizing people. It's a shame, but it's factual. Here they are being singled out and separated by the approval of the Lord, and thus giving you the notion of promotion comes from God. Go ahead.
From 30, even those that were numbered of them were 8,504 score. According to the commandment of the Lord, they were numbered by the hand of Moses, everyone according to his service and according to his burden. Thus were they numbered of him as the Lord commanded Moses. That's the end of chapter 4.
How about that? We're moving on. We're making progress. Yes. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Absolutely. Well, using the word burden gives strength and gives more of a personal, heavy, assigned responsibility to the task. calling it a burden. You know,
Can
like
I,
it gives more strength to it, more punch. You
Can-
know,
can I ask you something?
yes,
It sounds like it's like a mind thing.
absolutely.
Because if you say a butler or a maid
Uh-huh.
that is in a house, that
Yes.
they're servant to the master of that
Same
house,
system.
and their burden is to make sure everything. Because the maid can't do what the butler do,
Uh-huh.
and the butler can't do what the maid do.
But they're allowed to
But
help
they
each
have.
other.
Say that again.
They're allowed to help each other.
They are allowed to help,
Mm-hmm.
but when responsibility comes, they don't. When the master calls for that house, for the butler got to come and answer
Absolutely.
for what they were to meet burden for. That's how it that, to me. And so they say,
Yes.
let's see, some of them that are in that role, they're happy to be there. They
Yes.
take pride and joy.
Now understand, this bleeds over even into the workplace. This bleeds over even into the corporate dynamic. It bleeds over into, I told you, this concept, this blueprint was picked up by more than just religious institutions. Nobody want to go in this Bible and do what we're doing. They're too busy trying to be present themselves as some kind of spiritual, powerful people. Nobody want to explain. That's where these systems were adopted. The dynamic of denominations and the inner workings of those that have responsibility come from this kind of system. Absolutely. When we break down some of the denominations, and we're going to do it, you're going to find out that you see similar from what we're talking about now. You'll see it's similar. You'll see it's not different, it's similar. And they just adopted it and put it into play. And the password for all is gullible. That's right. What's the comment?
Pastor Tron logged in, and her comment is correct. That is why baptism records are still important in some churches.
Absolutely. And then the thing that's really interesting to me is the people come up as a candidate for baptism, which means you can be denied. By somebody that wasn't qualified when they went down in the water. Which is why the contradiction comes in later, where it was asked by one of the characters, can water save you? See, I'm not here to argue and debate. I'm just here to speak some truth. I'm not against the truth they're speaking. Folks still gonna jump and holler and roll because that's what the religion prompts you to do. It's the bottom line. No, I'm just speaking truth so people can understand why it's so powerful, why it instills fear, why it's widely accepted and implemented and put into practice in many facets of many societies. Absolutely. Any other comments? Let's go ahead.
Chapter 5.
I appreciate y'all that are here because, I mean, I would do it if no one was here because I'm supposed to do it. But I appreciate y'all that are here. I appreciate y'all that are on the live. I really would embrace the opportunity to do this kind of pointing out and breaking down and teaching in other places as well, especially now. Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, command the children of Israel that they put out of the camp every leper and every one that hath an issue, and whosoever is defiled by the dead. Both male and female shall ye put out without the camp, shall ye put them, that they defile not their camps.
Are y'all hearing this? Okay.
In the midst whereof I dwell. And the children of Israel did so and put them out without the camp, as the Lord spake unto Moses, so did the children of Israel. And the
Excuse
Lord,
me, is that tough love or something?
I was about to ask.
Is that an example of tough love, or is that example
That's
of
discrimination. But that's
discrimination, alienation, separation?
you together, but you apart. You know, and it's all right because God, the Lord, told you to do it because He don't want to be defiled by none of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Said, put them out. Y'all hear that, right? Is that discrimination? Huh?
Yes,
Who said yes?
I did. We all saying yes.
Everybody saying yes? Ooh,
Yeah.
oh my.
Your Lord, your God.
Ooh,
And I said it's supposed to this man because you to me, you make it seem as though you someone that's not that caring, cruel. When you say put them out, as though they're not. And then I thought that souls supposed to be precious, and but you say
Ooh.
okay, well, and defiled by the dead. So to me, again, what I don't like is
Thank you.
how man have tried to characterize, the things they have put in here and wrote in here as though this is the Lord thy God.
Yes,
To
it
make
helps.
it
Yes.
seem as though that's why they this is their concept. This is their, what to me is what they want to put in there. Like I said, go back to control, fear, or what may be, to fit their narrative. But then to make it seem as though, like I said again, this is how the Lord God is. Which in truly, this is just man. This is man with their so-called feelings and their so-called emotions, or what may be, and to be, and I kind of understand again, but they like we know that they had to do this. We don't understand why they did it, but to put things in place, to be like it is now. But my thing is, like I said again, that I hate that they have described as though, like I said, this God is so not so merciful. This is a God, because I'm going back, like I said again, to a while ago when it was said burden and feeling oppressed and down. But when when I was in the system, and just like you said, like heavy loads, it shouldn't have been like that, because I feel like if anything that you are wanting to do, you should, if it's in you to do, you shouldn't have to feel like you have to be burdened down by something, or oppressed or weighed down. But that's how you did feel, because you didn't feel like you was living up to what you're supposed to be doing, according to this Bible. And then you still do, because a lot of times you did feel oppressed. I felt oppressed a lot of times, because like I said again, but now as I'm looking in this thing, looking at, okay, it made it to be so like hard, even though I know they got all these duties over here, what may be, but it made it to be so hard to try to, or you want to, thinking you living all that you know how to do. But again, but they say this is supposed to be law. I guess, like I said, when grace come along, it's supposed to be a little different or whatever. But I still say, like I said, but this is supposed to be a God that changes not. But it does. These gods do because these are men. They're gods. But again, like I said again, I'm thankful and I'm grateful because, like you said, that we are here and that we are doing these because, like now, for myself, I'm feeling like I'm getting ready to be challenged. So if I'm getting here and learning things, because when I go out there, I'm gonna cross these people that full of supposed to be scripture, the word of what they be. But I'm be able to stand, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we taking this thing line by line, precept by precept. And when they try to come for, like I said, it's not gonna be a debate or what may be, but I want to, you know, be able, like I said, to walk in the boldness. And then I ain't trying to persuade you, but I want you to, when I get through talking to you, I'm gonna have you thinking. That's how I want to be.
Okay, well, they developed a God concept that really has the characteristics, traits, and personality of men. The Most High is not anything like the descriptive narrative that's given to us. Absolutely not. Absolutely. Absolutely not. No way. And we have to understand and realize this. One of the things that amaze me is how it say the spirit bear witness of itself, but can none of them get along. There's a spirit connected to every religion. There's a spirit that call you into it. The principalities and the spirit that you walk, it calls you, it talks to you. I don't care what you say, it's in all the religions. Their hierarchy of gods talk to them too. Give them insight too. The funny part is most of it come from you. It come from inside of us. Don't come from no powerful divine being at all. The Most High is part of you. The Amen, the unseen one, is part of you. We are the ones that pervert and desecrate and imbrue that which is supposed to be pure and holy. We come up with concepts and we come up with constructs to give explanation because we don't want to accept responsibility that we jacked up. As intelligent as we are, we're still flawed and jacked up. And we did it to each other. We're all part of the Most High. I know someone's watching and just said, he done changed. That's true. Because of time. We don't want to be honest about it. Hollering and yelling ain't going to stop me. Shahaki, hold up my shot. That ain't going to stop me. I can do it too. Calling me a devil ain't going to make me mad. That's what's wrong with us now. We talk love and strength and unity, and some of the most deviant, hateful, and evil folk you ever gonna encounter are folk that are in a type of religion. They're killing each other now in the name of religion. They're fighting now because of the Bible. And we have to be intelligent enough to have dialogue and realize when you're talking to somebody that just want to argue, that just want to be mad and mean, you have to realize the difference. You can't treat them and entreat them the way they want to entreat you. You have to expose it by being honest, pure, and true, and holy. You have to expose it that way because I ain't met too many people that effectively were able to do effective, pure, loving, cross-religion dialogue. It always ends up in a debate. So what we're getting, of course, if you ain't picked up that it done changed, then you just flat out ain't in here tonight. What are the comments? We got comments also.
Elder Barron said that's a fear tactic, and Pastor Tron said make it make sense.
I'll make it make sense. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. But whether we like it or not, mankind, in all of the precious splendor and beauty that's provided, the presence of being part of the Most High, found a way to louse it up and mess it up. Facts. Anything else? Okay. Can we move on?
Yes. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, when a man or woman shall commit any sin that men commit.
Stop. First of all, you just ostracized and separated who you say is unclean. Right? Well, what if they didn't do no sin? They only got kicked out because they different. Discrimination is because you're different. Deportation, you're different. That's right. What if the leper didn't do no sin? Doesn't matter, huh? You done kicked them out. I ain't never thought about that because you rarely think. Let's go. These preachers. I ain't never thought about it. I bet you didn't. You're too busy trying to prove how smart and how more intelligent, how dominant you are with the people that you keep in bondage and you control every Sunday. Let's go.
To do a trespass against the Lord, and that person be guilty, then they shall confess their sin which they have done, and he shall recompense his trespass with the principal thereof, and add unto it the fifth part thereof, and give it unto him against whom he hath trespassed. But if the man have no kinsman to recompense the trespass unto, let the trespass be recompensed unto the Lord, even to the priest, beside the ram of the atonement, whereby an atonement shall be made for him. And every offering of all the holy things of the children of Israel, which they bring unto the priest, shall be his. And every man's hallowed things shall be his. Whatsoever any man giveth the priest, it shall be his. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them,
Hold it. That don't remind y'all of nothing? How about the court system? How about some of these churches with their dirty self, or make some people stand up and tell what they did? Tell them to ask the church for forgiveness. While some of the folk that ain't trying to do right at all, sitting in there to my, that's right, amen. Hypocrisy. We don't like facing the truth. In court, you can sue somebody and get what? Their stuff. Ain't that what it is in there? In the church. The same thing. With the priest or the preacher, as we say. We don't like, I'm just speaking the truth. I don't want to hear none of this foolishness about, he left God. Ain't that devil. So the truth is the devil now. So now the truth is the devil. See, they done started something they cannot finish. Look at what's happening in this country. What did I tell y'all? We ain't getting out of this one. They're getting, no, all they want, you ain't getting out of this one. Then went too far. The universe don't work the way they tell you. Nobody masters the universe. Nobody has the universe perfectly figured out. Nobody has a monopoly on the universe. Nobody. Nowhere. We have some understanding of it, but not the full understanding of it. Which is bigger, the universe or your mind? I'm waiting. Which is bigger? I want y'all to remember that question. Later on down the road, I'm going to shock you. We don't like the truth. We don't like the truth. This same principle shows up in the New Testament with the parable of the talents. Does it not? We don't like the truth. We love to sway and dance around truth with our little intelligence, our ability to show how smart we are, how we can put stuff together and mess up people's head. We are so proud of that. So proud of the grungy, filthy thing that we have become. We decide what is and what ain't and hide behind it and blame it on God, blame it on Jesus, blame it on angels, blame it on the devil, blame it on demons, blame it on spirits, blame it on another person if we feel like it. Yes.
Pastor Tron said, but also states Christians are not supposed to take each other to court. And Sister Tatanisha said, will we ever get the full understanding of the universe?
Absolutely not, because once you leave here and become part of the realm of the ancestors, you become part of the capability, function, and flow of the universe.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I know I see here in times that where they talk about the commands and the duties that they're supposed to do, but I don't think I have came across of them naming when they say in every offering of all the holy things. What are supposed to be the holy things?
Doesn't say, does it?
Don't say. And I was like, okay, but y'all, you name everything else, and you know what the duties are to come in. What about the holy things that's supposed to be, that you claim that you say is holy?
Now, for
What is that?
example, in Catholicism, there are certain things only the priest can touch. There are certain items only the Pope can touch. You're not allowed to handle them, but you don't die if you do. But it is instilled in you that fear that you ain't supposed to mess with that. You ain't supposed to touch that. There's a video that was, it went viral, I believe, where this woman touched the priest. It was the Pope, and he smacked her. Smacked her in her face. So it's set up and organized. Listen, religion is not the only place where this stuff happens. In the corporate world, if the CEO was in the room before you come into the meeting room and the CEO put the stuff down from the coffee cup to the ink pen, you are not allowed to touch it. That's facts. If the CEO went to take a bathroom break, the coffee cup, the ink pen, a balled up peppermint wrapper, a folder, whatever is sit there, it better be in place when the CEO come back in there. And if you touch it and they tell, that's probably your last day in the corporate room. Probably. You ain't no higher up after that day. And I know it to be so. Because when a sister is on her game and make it up to the higher level of the corporate world, she is called the B word. See there? That's a good thing for them to call her the B word. Mm-hmm. So this stuff is adopted and trickled down here because it was copied. This is nothing but the same thing being mimicked and mimicked and mimicked. There's no such thing. No such thing as too much copying. Somebody gonna copy and mimic. You can never shut that down. You can never shut that down. You can implement copying and people, listen, some of the principles and laws and standards are copies, handed down. Folks still think they came from an ape, even though no apes are turning into people. You don't believe in evolution? Not that way. Well, I believe it. Well, what stopped it? Well, God decided what stopped it. Next. We have spent so much time blaming everything on God and other gods and other things that we don't have no sense. And when people talk with intelligence and logic and explanation, it's a problem. It's poison to a lot of us. And we'll defend what's not so, even if it calls our demise. This is what was being developed here. The establishment of control, order, by using fear. It's also something that was adopted and used in a cult. Which is what most religions are, like it or not. Do you see how hard it is to get some of that stuff out of your head? It ain't because you evil or mean. Look how long you've been taking it in. Oh, you calling it wrong now? I didn't say it was wrong. I said, look how long you've been taking it in. Any more comments? We have something from the floor. Go ahead.
To answer Minister Rice's question, you said, what are the holy things? Before we got to this part, the character God had already established what was most holy unto him.
Some of them.
Yes. And so now that he's getting the people together, which Apostle just said about the control. You put everything in place, they accept that you can control it. And that to me seems to be what has happened. So the flesh hooks and all these other things they talk about, and the sensors and all that, he had already established that these are most holy unto me. And so now he putting it implemented into the others so they'll know not to cross it or you die. You know, that's, to me, that's how it seems.
Uh, like the Ark of the Covenant.
Right. Right. What did Apostle say? It's like to set the stage. It's to set it up for control.
Mm.
You were saying like the things that the priests could do, and make them seem like again, they were like a higher up, you know?
Absolutely.
And so, and a lot of times that's how they made them to feel they was the closest thing to God, you know?
Yes.
And also, if this is what they're saying, then it got to be right. It got to be true, you know? So it's still, like I said, they set it up, you know, like I said, in order to do what they have done. They have done that. But the saddest thing about it is through all this that they have tried to, like you said again, to put together, come together in order how this is supposed to be, but it's still so much division. So it's so divided, you know, and it's going to forever be like that. Because like you said, when you go back to, and when I always say, I said, well, darn, everybody want to be right, don't they? But everybody's supposed to be in this one book, but not together at all. And their way is the right way. We're doing this the right way. This is the wrong way, you know. Or then sometimes they come up with their own thing of how something's supposed to be to fit whatever they want it to fit at that time.
I had grew up young, going to church, but taught, don't you go up there, you can't go up to the pulpit, you can't go up there because you're going to get a whooping, fear. If they don't call you forth, you stay back until they call you forth. I'm talking about the preachers. I'm talking about the pastor. I'm talking about the ones that carried the title of minister. As a young person, they drilled that from Sunday school. This is Sunday school teachings, and reverence. You always reverence those that are over you, and you never question what they say. You never be disobedient because that's against God, and you might get kicked out the church. This is what was told to me. You'll get kicked out the church if you break any of these rules and laws, and they were giving it to me from being young. Now you said something about separation. We're being part of a Baptist church, but everybody else was wrong except us because the Baptist way is the only way. So this is the thing that they drilled in me for control. So you can shake me from that until I was shook. That's all I knew. That's what I grew up. That's what, when I went home, even it wasn't my dad that was in it, my mom was. So she was the one that was teaching it and drilling it and giving it to us because that's what was given to her. And so the control of that part of my life at that time was drilled long before, So that's why I'm grateful that when we got out of this, it wasn't too hard. It was just some things I had to figure out and change. But some people don't ever recover because that's how deep they deep. What you say, Apostle? They deep into, they
Uh-huh.
lose their life. What you say? They
It's
defend it to the end.
yeah, it's embedded.
They're defended to the end, and you have the truth right there in your
Nothing
face.
wrong with that. That's the dynamic, and
You know.
that's their belief system, and they just disrespect others, which I think is a problem. They disrespect others.
Right. That was my comment. I'm sorry. You ready to move on?
And that's it.
Yes.
Okay, let's move.
If any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him, and a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and be kept close, and she be defiled, and there be no witness against her, neither she be taken with the manner, and the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled, and if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled, then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. And the priest shall bring her near and set her before the Lord. And the priest shall take holy water. That sounds Catholicism. Holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle to the priest shall, the tabernacle the priest shall take and put it into the water. And the priest shall set the woman before the Lord and uncover the woman's head and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causeth the curse. And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causeth the curse. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee beside thine husband, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing. And the priest shall say unto the woman, the Lord make thee a curse and an oath among thy people. When the Lord doth make thy thigh to rot and thy belly to swell. And this water that causeth the curse shall go into thy bowels to make thy belly to swell and thy thigh to rot. And the woman shall say, Amen, Amen. And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causeth the curse, and the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her and become bitter. Then the priest shall take the jealousy offering out of the woman's hand, and shall wave the offering before the Lord, and and offer it upon the altar. And the priest shall take a handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar, and afterward shall cause the woman to drink the water. And when he hath made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled and have done trespass against her husband, that the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her and become bitter, and her belly shall swell, and her thigh shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. And if the woman be not defiled, but be clean, then she shall be free and shall conceive seed. This is the law of jealousies, when a wife goeth aside to another instead of her husband, and is defiled. Or when the spirit of jealousy cometh upon him, and he be jealous over his wife, and shall set the woman before the Lord, and the priest shall execute upon her all this law. Then shall the man be guiltless from iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity. That's the end of chapter 5.
Now, I
Oh
want
my
y'all to
gosh.
understand. Now you know where they get giving everything a spirit, and where they get putting the preachers in this highly elevated position that they put us in, and how I heard Dot over there laughing as it was being read. Then I heard the reader make a comment. This is where they get this stuff from. All this. And then they say, well, Jesus did away with all that. Right? That's what they tell us. That's what they tell us. That's what they tell us. But we'll leave that alone for right now. But
I got a comment.
comment.
You know,
Uh-huh.
now I can understand why. When you go back a lot of times, and now you see the stuff in the Bible and how it is about how certain things are done unto the woman.
Uh-huh.
But they'll never say anything about the man.
Come on.
But I see here a lot of time, when I go back a lot of time, when you see men that had that mentality of thinking that the woman was their property, you know.
They still do.
And they can still go around here and sleep with Jane, Jennifer, and Susan, and what may be, and think it was all right, but because he was the man,
It ain't
you
all
know.
right when we do that.
No, but that's how they lived, some of them, you know, and they did a lot of things, because a lot of them had children elsewhere. That came later on to know that they were their siblings, but that's what they did. But I just see how a lot of time, like I said again, that how I never ever didn't see it this way until you were saying it about this Bible being like that, and then now that we're in here, and I'm like, man, it's like the woman is not good for nothing but bearing the children. She's in it for certain things, or just not much. Might say a name or what may be, not many times or what may be, but not have the love and respect and honor, like it should. But I see a lot of this stuff come that's even in this Bible to make it seem as though it's right. And then you wonder why, like a lot of times, how women that have stayed in these things, because of the fear, and that's how it's supposed to be. And then some of them probably will try to say, like I say, don't let them be somebody that's called themselves supposedly been, I want to say, I guess a Christian, they call themselves going to church or whatever, and stuff like that, and came back home and was mean to their wife and did what they want to do and stuff like that. But then if she read this and everything, she would have been so afraid that, like I said, because all this right here, it don't never ever say, but what about the man? What about the man? But it's always about the woman, whatever. But to me, the reason why I laugh because it's a joke. It really is. And now, like I said again, you can tell the stuff has been written by man and not by the Most High. No, there's no way. Nobody can even convince me otherwise that the way this stuff is written in here and the way that I see it now, we've been coming from the Genesis to where we are now, and how this thing is playing out, how it don't make no sense, and how it's written. It's really ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But again, like I said again, I'm happy. I'm glad that I can think for myself. I really am, because I can surely say that I don't feel like I'm carrying a burden. I don't feel weighed down. I don't feel, I feel, now I say don't go through things what may be, but like I said again, this is even through it all, when we was, coming in and learning, and, because we had to really dissect some things, we had to, really get in. And my biggest thing and now is getting a better understanding of the Most High, you know, because that was my thing. Well, okay, like, you know, well, you know, when you so into something, like you said, we were so into it one time, and can't really say, well, what I'm gonna do. My question was like, okay, you know, I want to know more. You know, I was like a little hurt or whatever because I felt like, you know, okay, I've been food all this time, but still now, um, me being in the Most High and He and me, and not that how they have tried to characterize them or make him be or what may be. I feel better. Like I said, I feel lighter. Um, I'm grateful and I'm thankful because I can laugh through some stuff now. I really can because, like I said, this Bible, some of the stuff in here, it's ridiculous, you know. And I was one that didn't really, I didn't too much go in the Old Testament like that. Sometimes I did because they, you know, certain things that you have in the Sunday school, it may be, and you know, but we didn't go back and talk about it unless somebody want to take something and use as an illustration about how somebody was, because these are supposed to be like lessons to learn what not to do, but to get in to seek, and because a lot of times when it got to a lot of them names and stuff, and even to now, that I kind of get a little sidetracked because I was like, what in the world? But again, I'm thankful and grateful, you know, to be here and learning. I really am. Um, how can I say this? I don't know. Um, wow. Um, I be feeling like when I get outside the wall sometime and run up upon somebody, I'll be like, you know, try me if you want to. You know, I shouldn't feel that way, but sometimes I be, you know, and I like, you know, not saying to get in no kind of argument or no kind of debate or what may be, you know, but still, when you come in contact with people that's still locked in, you know. But I just want to be able to handle myself in a way, in the right way, you know, because like Sunday, I almost got a little mad, you know, I almost got a little mad, but I didn't. I just said this is not the right time. But there are gonna come some times they're gonna have discussions or whatever. But I'm thankful, like I said, and grateful to still, you know, again, to be able to thank for myself, to come in here to really go line by line, to have the discussions, to be able to talk about this kind of stuff, because that's something that we wasn't able to do. You'll come into a Bible study or what may be, and they have their lessons, you know, already pretty much outlined, and you have to talk about, you know, the stuff that they come and, you know, want you to learn about at that, you know, at the top of the discussion, what may be. And the same thing like with Sunday school, what may be the same thing. But I'm glad for free your mind, because like I said again, it is needed, and I'm thankful and grateful for those that I will come in contact with that's not locked in the system, maybe someone that want to come to the realization that what they was locked in wasn't really working, and you know, and wanted to get a clearer and a better understanding. So. With that being said, again, like I said, I'm thankful for I'm thankful for your mind. I really am, because you know, there's a lot, like I said again, that I might not know, I don't know everything, but I'm thankful and grateful that I'm open to learn. And I remember when we first got started, I was sitting there, and I must have was like, you know, looking kind of confused, whatever. But Apostle, you came over to me, and that's the thing that always plays back in my mind. You said, I'm going to teach you, you know. And so I'm glad to have, you know, thankful for you. I'm thankful for you doing what you're doing. And I know, I only imagine, I know it's not easy. But yes, you are needed. And I'm thankful and grateful that you're making a mark that will not be erased, because I always say that someone is going to see this somewhere down the line that's going to need it. It's going to come across, you know, their lives and hear you, even though sometimes the right people don't be on there. Some be on for the wrong thing, and you know what may be, or some might get mad or get off. But that's okay, because it's going to come a time that, because like I said again, that's there now. That's there. It ain't going nowhere, you know. And I'm grateful and thankful, like I said again, because it will carry on from generation to generation. So, yeah.
And anything?
Yes, and my comment was also like Mr. Rice, why do they always get the women and not the men? Because it took two of them to perform the act if she was guilty.
Well,
And
it's the King James version of the Bible. King James was European. You have to use European concepts. The European concepts is male chauvinistic, is male dominant. The European, look at what's happening in this country. Women, even in government, are belittling themselves and being used as tools of evil and wickedness because they came up hating folk anyway. And even in church, the same concept is emphasized and pushed in church. When you go to a place where that's not how they are, it's strange and weird to other denominations. And then in some places, the women hate men, and in some places, the men hate women. In some places, there's a mixture, but I see a lot of these places where women are demeaned, and they accept it because somebody lied and told them this is how God wanted, this is what God said, this is the word of God. You know, playing with words has messed up a lot of people. And I understand the disgust and the hate and the resentment for people that speak truth and people that want to see things cleaned up. I see why they don't want it, and I understand. But like I told you, religion has a spirit about it that will control you. That's how some people say they were called to preach. They heard a voice and heard no more after that because their messages suck. You know, it was powerful enough to call you, but it wasn't powerful enough to give you something intelligent and powerful to say. You are an intelligent, capable being, creative, productive, and able to express, able to share, able to listen. These things that we embrace and we adopt are because we give in to the dynamic of the religion, period. That's just a fact. I gave the example of the dreams and visions that you have are consistent with Christianity. They're not consistent with being a monk. They're not consistent with being in Hindu, Muslim. They're not consistent with that because that's not what you embraced. You can't get high off a blunt and stagger around like you've been drinking gin. You're going to stagger around and be incoherent like you were smoking a strong blunt. That's the bottom line. I was taught well, I just didn't understand what the source of my teaching was. Prepared. My father always saw it. Always. In his own way, he was trying to keep me from the system, but I was supposed to be a part of the system. I was supposed to walk into the mosque. I was supposed to walk into the synagogue. I was supposed to help people get deprogrammed from a cult. See, I have a background that folk are envious of. That's why these idiots around here resent me, because I ain't dumb. I was supposed to see how the Jewish customs operate. I was supposed to see how the difference between Muslims from the Shiite to the nation of Islam. I didn't understand encountering all these different people. I was supposed to change the heart of prejudiced folk that didn't look like me. A lot of what happened was supposed to happen, Now I'm trying to share, but folk don't want it. And they're going to soon get their wish because I'm getting kind of tired of it. You know, when you can't be genuine, I don't understand people that do it because that's got to be very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. You know, I'm the wrong one to run into if you want to have a battle of hate. I'm going to spread love, not hate. But I am going to make you feel some type of way because I speak truth. I don't have time for the other stuff. We done had enough of this mess. So you're reading a Bible that's male chauvinistic in nature. It's male chauvinistic in spirit. The culture and customs have been tarnished, blemished, twisted, and shapen to fit the agenda of being male dominant. Then they had the nerve to say God is not a man. And then they get mad when I say mother and father of life. So I appreciate and value what we're doing here. It is really instructive, it's informative, it helps us broaden our horizons and understand what we're in and what we're doing. Someone asked me, what religion? I said, we're not in a religion. What denomination? We're not in a denomination. What are you? We're men and women in the Most High. Righteous people. We can encounter any and everybody. We can help clean up your service if you want it cleaned up. We're not looking down on you. We're presenting what the Bible tells about a more excellent way. While we're on that subject, ask the almighty wise AI, who were the first Christians? Watch this. Who were the first Christians? Watch this.
It says that the first Christians were a community of first century Jewish followers of Jesus, primarily based in Judea and Galilee. They initially viewed themselves as Jewish Reform movement rather than a separate religion and referred to themselves by the names like believers or the way.
Now, absolutely F-A-L-S-E, false. False. Because in the first century, the term Jew didn't exist. Wasn't no J. How you had Jew when it wasn't no J? And if Christ only showed up 2,000 years ago, the first century is way back there. So I think AI is a lie. Second problem, the first Christians had nothing to do with Christianity. The first Christians had nothing to do with a Christ. The first Christians were a separated, select body of people who followed after a symbol, a representation of higher power. God was not used yet. Even with our people, Ammon, which is where they really twisted and screwed up and came up with the term amen. Ammon means hidden one, unseen one. Amra, self-existing one. El, first representation from the ancient Indos. El, meaning God. E-A-U-A, meaning God. Yah, meaning God. Ra'ashadam, meaning God. Rohosihatai, meaning God. For those who want to hear that again, Rohosiata, meaning God. See, I'm intelligent. Don't fool with me. Rohosiata. I know you never heard it before. Rohosiata. Ask me 2 weeks from now, I'm going to tell you again. Rohosiata. Somebody just on the line said, oh, okay then. Rohosiata. Guess what? You ain't going to find that in no dictionary, but it is a combination of the mother and father of life. Rohosiata. What? The mother and father of life riding on the majestic, powerful lion, because Tao means lion. Ain't got nothing to do with evil. Look it up. You'll find the evil stuff, but keep reading. You'll see. Roho si ata. I ain't as dumb as I make out. Okay, then. What time is it? Huh? We're going to stop there. Do we have any closing comments?
We still had comments on here.
Let's hear the
I had one more
comments.
thing.
Let's respect the comments, please.
Well, I had one more thing too. Where
Give us the one more thing. Rahosiata.
where they're saying now in verse 29, where the woman is pretty much free. If she is free of the curse, she can go bear children, have children. But what if she's past childbearing age, and what if she's barren? How's she gonna have children?
See how you start and stuff.
But
You can't come with that kind of truth. Rahosiata.
and then Elder Barron said, "It is encouraging, refreshing, and empowering to know that I have not lost my mind for feeling my freedom. Ashe, bless you, man, in the Most High."
Bless you.
And
Asante Sana.
and Tatanisha said, "Is that voodoo?" Like when they were saying the women make her drink something and it might taste bitter, and the curse and rotting of the thigh, and those verses.
It can be, so they can use it to say it's voodoo. They can use it to say it's witchcraft. Good job, Tatanisha. You made me remember. This is where they pick up concepts of calling something wicked and evil, but yet it's used in your Bible. This is where they came up with the witch trials. Let's try this. Disapprove it's a witch. Are y'all catching on to the concepts?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this, because if this happens, we're dealing with a witch. Let's do this to her. She did this, she defiled her husband. Then they give labels and stuff, because voodoo has more to do with the Most High than Christianity does, than any other religion that exists other than being a monk or a purist. Yes, that's why they label stuff with evil things, because I told you it's in this Bible. They had 500 years to copy, plagiarize, and get the concepts right to hit different facets, but they didn't get it perfect because they had to change it to do things like the slave Bible. They had to change it to try to trick the pygmies. They had to do it, the Pocate Indians. See, they had to change. Tasmania, they didn't receive it, so they destroyed it. Ain't a pure Tasmania person on the planet. They killed them all, even the babies. They can lie all they want to. They killed them all. Why do you think they called the animal the Tasmanian devil? So I thank everyone tonight. Any more comments that we did not get? We want to get them all in. Thank you, Dr. Nisha. I almost forgot that.
Pastor Chandra said facts, and Tatanisha said thank you. That's it.
Okay. Well, we're thankful tonight to the Most High for this time of free your mind and your body follow. Very informative, very, very, very comprehensive. Thankful for participation on the live, and for there are a lot of people that are starting to not stomach how I talk and what I stand for and what I walk in, and that's fine. I'm not going to disassociate or mistreat them. That's on them, not on me. But I'm so thankful and grateful that we were able to have this time. May the Most High enrich and empower and strengthen all of us. Peace be within our walls, prosperity within our dwellings. Let us continue to get an understanding and go forth and not only empower one another, but empower others and be a help, not a hurt. Spread love, not hate. Have a blessed, peaceful, restful remainder of this evening, and may we see you soon again.